When Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Not up.
Jay-Z ain't playing no more. He's out for blood. And guess who lit the fuse? 50 Cent. Yep, the power player who's never backed down just might have crossed the line for real this time. See, 50 didn't just throw shade, he threw fire. Explosive claims about Jay's marriage to Beyoncé are now making serious noise. We're talking secret deals, bizarre control rumors, and leaked clips that got fans side-eyeing everything. Is Queen Bee really being pulled like some industry puppet? And what if 50's wild stories aren't just smoke, but actual flames of truth? This ain't your usual rap beef, this is personal. Now Jay, he's not brushing it off, he's coming straight for 50, and honestly, 50's been poking the beast for years, but this time, he went nuclear. He didn't just diss Jay's music, he basically said the man owes his whole career to Beyoncé. That's a bold shot straight at the throne. It all blew up during 50's sit-down on the Flagrant podcast with Andrew Schultz. And let's just say, dude was not holding back. Every word had that, I said what I said energy. 50 Cent's been on Jay-Z's neck for years, but this time, he pushed it way past the line.
Wow, so that's the deal.
Right, yeah, that's the deal. Like, the other ones didn't count as much as that one did.
On the Flagrant podcast with Andrew Schultz, 50 went all in, implying Jay's success isn't from talent or hustle, but because he locked down Beyoncé. That's right. According to 50, Jay's empire is built on marriage moves, not music. And they laughed about it, sure. But 50 wasn't joking. He straight up said Jay hit the jackpot by marrying Bey. In 50's words, the wedding wasn't just romance, it was strategy. It gave Jay the perfect family man glow up, transforming his image from Marcy Projects to Madison Avenue, and that shift opened doors, boosted brands, and changed everything for him.
When Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Not up. Trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, this. If you look at this, you're like.
But if you thought that was wild, buckle up, because 50 wasn't done swinging. He pulled out a video that's been doing laps online. A clip of Beyonce and Jay at a game, where Bey looks totally out of it. She's barely keeping her eyes open, staring off like she's somewhere else entirely. Now sure, fans could chalk it up to jet lag or just being drained. But 50's version, way darker. He claimed Bey wasn't just tired, she'd been given something before the game. That's the real reason, he said, for her spaced out look. And to top it off, he dragged out another clip, this one from the Grammys, that according to him, only adds more heat to the theory. Did you catch that clip where Jay-Z keeps trying to get Beyonce to take a drink? Like, really trying. Watch his face when she refuses. That frown ain't just disappointment, it's something else. It's weird, straight up unsettling. Why was he so pressed about that drink? The way 50 tells it, it didn't look like a caring husband moment. It looked like control. And let's be real, some folks are starting to see it too. That Jay and Bey dynamic, it's giving more puppet master and performer than actual love story.
Discrimination that is used when what was in love letter for.
Y'all didn't hear the beat. I heard the beat, but then the beat went away. And she continued to rock and sway. Sometimes when you're a musician, if she been in the studio or whatever, the beat is still in her head. And you know, she can hear the song, you know. And
50 didn't pull that idea out of thin air. He's saying what others been whispering for years. Now here's where it gets even darker. Most people have no clue about what Beyonce allegedly went through early in her career. According to some insiders, before she ever became Queen Bee, she was being offered around to powerful folks in the industry as part of the game. Sounds wild? Then go watch that clip from Bun B, one half of UGK. In the interview, Bun says UGK and Destiny's Child were recording in the same building back in the day. Pimp C thought about going over just to say hey to the girls, but it wasn't just a casual moment. Beyonce was all smiles and fangirl energy, but her father, Matthew Knowles, he had another plan. He wanted Pimp C to get with Beyonce, not for love, but because it would level up her exposure and his status. It all starts to add up. Like, Beyonce wasn't just climbing the ladder we were. She was being positioned from the start. Pimp C might have shut down Matthew Knowles' plan, but guess who didn't? Jay-Z. And here's where it gets even wilder. Jaguar Wright claims Bey got specific training to play the exact role she's been in for years. Think that sounds crazy? Look closer. Beyoncé had it all: beauty, fame, talent, money. So why would she choose to be with a man who was on probation for a knife attack? Yeah, we're not making that up. One fan pointed out that Jay-Z was in his 30s when he stabbed music exec Lance Rivera.
He ain't show up. No, he had like 20 now. He had like 18 since he been down. He hadn't won, bro. Hard Knock Life.
He pled not guilty, but still caught a probation sentence in 2000 for third-degree assault. Now, here's the timeline. Bey said herself she started dating Jay around 2001 or 2002. That means she got involved while he was still serving probation for stabbing a dude. Later, she married him and had 3 kids. Like, seriously? Who does that? Most people wouldn't even text back someone with that kind of record, let alone build a whole life with them. Unless it wasn't just love, it was arranged. A deal between Jay and her father that pushed both of their careers forward. And here's the real kicker. When women in those setups start feeling trapped, they eventually rebel. Jay couldn't risk that, so if Jaguar's claims are true, he didn't just want Beyoncé on paper, he wanted control, total control. And how did he keep it? According to the rumor mill, he gave her substances.
There's something so intriguing about that couple, like even though, like it makes it more interesting because you don't know what they were talking about. Like, are they having an argument?
Can we reenact it and let's see what they were talking about?
Now, I told you I wasn't about to get any popcorn now. I'm just tired, I'm flawless, and I'm tired, Jay-Z.
But what about some juju beads? I like juju beads. They tasty.
Yeah, I know, but it ain't about that right now.
Whoppers. Well, if you don't do it, I'm gonna put you where Solange is at. You can't even see her.
Oh, really? It's like that now? Okay, so let me call her.
Yeah, it sounds like a conspiracy until you remember what went down with Diddy and Cassie. Suddenly, this whole Beyoncé and Jay-Z theory doesn't feel so far-fetched, right? And it's not just gossip. There have been multiple blind items over the years dropping hints about Bey's alleged habits. One in particular stands out, and it's wild. It describes a superstar with the full package: beauty, fame, a powerhouse marriage, talented kids, and insane global success. But the real kicker, the energy to juggle it all allegedly comes from a Class A substance, one that gets her up and keeps her going through the chaos of fame. At first, it was just a here and there thing, but now, according to that source, it's an everyday necessity.
There's a lot of our guys in there. There's a ton of Rap-A-Lot guys in the building. And Destiny's Child is recording in another room in the studio. Okay. And so Pimp goes in, they're like, Destiny Child over. He's like, oh, I want to meet them. They tight. He goes in, and he introduces himself, and I guess Beyonce was kind of taken aback that she was meeting Pimp C. Again, this was before Destiny's Child was a worldwide phenomenon. And so he comes back in the studio, and we're recording and hanging out, and Matthew Knowles comes in, and he asks Pimp, can I talk to you for a minute? And so they leave out for a couple of minutes, and Pimp comes in, and he's dying laughing. And we're like, what's wrong? He's like, yo, Matthew Knowles just told me to f*** his daughter, man.
Even those close to the situation say they were shocked by how deep it went. Everyone knew she was chill with weed, but hard stuff, that caught folks off guard. Then again, considering her background, maybe it's not so shocking. Jay's past is no secret. His hustle started in the streets, and that included dealing. And let's not forget, Beyonce's own family's been whispered about in the same breath when it comes to coping mechanisms and behind-the-scenes pressure. Faizon Love even spoke up about Jay-Z's history with drugs, saying it's way more than just old stories. It's still part of the narrative. So if Beyoncé ended up slipping into that world too, some would say it's tragic. Others would say it was written from the start. Jay-Z's no stranger to his past, and he's even opened up about it himself. In a rare sit-down with Oprah, he took a walk through his old stomping grounds, the Marcy houses, and didn't sugarcoat a thing. He said surviving there was literally life or death, and he wasn't being dramatic.
You're saying the success is derived from the marriage.
I've absolutely been treated different.
The accolade. Because he's no longer viewed as like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones, because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
You were connected to the biggest.
Jay got it for the music.
What? Jay got it for the music. Now you didn't see. Mr. He deserved those.
So shit happens like this, right?
Back in the 80s, when the crack epidemic tore through neighborhoods, 13-year-old Jay jumped into the game, selling substances just to get by. His father had dipped out when Jay was just 11. And like a lot of kids around him, he looked up to the street dealers who ran the block. Jay once said, "On the streets, you had to operate with integrity. If you broke your word, there weren't no lawsuits, just consequences." He was going to deal with you himself. That's where he learned the rules. Real loyalty, no excuses. But here's the twist. If Jay really did want to control Beyoncé, like some are claiming, then he already knew the exact blueprint. He grew up around it. He saw what substances could do. He saw how people got trapped mentally and physically. So the question is any of that theory backed by actual evidence? Well, here's where it gets a little eerie. Body language experts have chimed in over the years, pointing out some moments that feel off. At first glance, this one photo of Jay and Bey walking together looks picture perfect. But according to Blanca Cobb, a body language pro from North Carolina, something ain't adding up.
Trained at the esteemed Berklee College of Music. Handpicked by my very good friend, Terry Lynn Carrington, Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyonce's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyonce to stop people. Guess you didn't know your daughter well enough because she just started all the girls.
She said it would be more natural to walk side by side. Instead, the pose, the spacing, the energy, it all suggests control, not comfort. In one photo, their lower bodies move perfectly in sync, like they're gliding in rhythm. At first glance, it feels sweet. Jay-Z has his hand on Beyoncé, maybe even holding her back a little, but she's smiling. Her body language, relaxed. Even her toes aren't tense. So you could say, maybe he's just saying, "I got you. Stay close." It's kind of weird, but not flat out wrong. Just one of those moments you raise an eyebrow at, then move on. But then comes another photo that really gets people talking. Fans took one look and knew something was off. And body language expert Blanca Cobb didn't hold back in her analysis. Jay's arm isn't around her waist or back, it's around her neck. That's not romantic, it's awkward and straight up possessive. Cobb explained it like this. When someone has the option to gently touch their partner's back, but instead goes for the neck, that's a statement. It's not necessarily aggressive, but it is about control. Touching like that says, "She's mine." And here's where it gets uncomfortable. Beyoncé in that moment doesn't lean in. She doesn't reciprocate. Her face is turned, her body slightly distant.
Your relationship was a business relationship, financial, to get to the top, to become billionaires. There's no love there.
While we can't read her exact emotion without seeing her expression, one thing's clear. Jay's body language screams ownership. Yeah, sure, it could look cute to some, but a growing number of fans are saying it's giving something else entirely, like Jay-Z's treating Beyoncé less like a partner and more like a possession. And the way Bey reacts to his touch doesn't exactly scream comfort. According to body language expert Blanca Cobb, Jay's the one who's always reaching, always touching. That's his way of showing love. But Bey, she's just kind of tolerating it. Cobb didn't say their marriage was doomed, but she did raise a red flag. You can't judge everything from pictures alone, but it is telling when one person's always initiating the contact and the other barely responds. And that's exactly what's happening. Jay's all in, and Bey just lets it happen without ever matching that energy. So why would someone like Beyoncé, powerful, adored, independent, not be affectionate with the man she calls her husband?
Yeah, Beyonce's on drugs. She's been on them for a long time, and you keep her that way. Y'all wish it what you wish it to stay on.
Maybe it's because there's more to their union than meets the eye. And maybe it's because she never had much say in the first place. Some folks say she was sold off to Jay, and while that used to be just a wild rumor, the real shock came when someone inside finally spoke out, her former bodyguard. This guy wasn't some outsider guessing from the sidelines. He saw it all up close, and according to him, the whispers were real. Not only did he say Bey and Jay's marriage was contractual, he also backed the talk about her being on substances. Here's where it gets real eerie. Ron, Beyonce's former bodyguard, the same one who spilled all the behind-the-scenes tea, he's vanished. Just a few months ago, he was all over the internet dropping bombshells. And now, poof, gone. No warnings, no goodbye, just silence. And fans are running wild with theories. Some believe Ron might have passed away under mysterious circumstances. Others think he went into hiding because he knew too much. The idea? He became a target for telling the truth. And if what he said about Beyoncé's substance use and Jay-Z's alleged control tactics was even halfway real, then yeah, someone would definitely want him quiet. The wildest part, his claims don't sound so far off when you look at other stories. One music producer once said Beyoncé accidentally poisoned herself with too many 5-hour energy shots. She had stayed awake for over 40 hours straight, trying to knock out 6 songs in one recording session. The producer said most people would have hit the brakes, passed out, gone home, but not Bey. She just kept going. Even when her body was clearly screaming, stop, she was already deep into the 3rd track of the session. When the producer mentioned he needed an energy boost himself, Beyoncé didn't blink. She pulled out more shots like it was nothing. That wasn't just dedication, it was next-level survival mode, and it paints a picture of someone pushing way past the limit again and again. And guess what happened next? Beyoncé pushed herself way past the edge, and it shocked the producer. That vacation she had lined up after the recording session, gone. She got sick. Her body crashed after she forced it beyond the limit. Fans who heard about it, some were clapping, calling it next level hustle. That's commitment, right? But when you really step back, it tells a whole different story. It shows that Bey's not afraid to go too far, and she's willing to lean on substances to make it happen. Some fans think she's just used to that nonstop grind, but others believe the truth is darker. But they think years of being dosed and pushed have wrecked her nervous system. And now, she doesn't even know how to function without it. One thing's clear, there are way too many red flags when it comes to this marriage. And 50 Cent, he's out here asking the questions everyone else is too scared to say out loud. Is Beyoncé being controlled? And if so, is Jay-Z getting ready to silence 50 next? Think that sounds far-fetched? Then maybe you haven't looked closely at the trail of people who've crossed Jay-Z and suddenly disappeared from the spotlight. But hey, what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more jaw-dropping breakdowns. And don't forget to ring that bell, because you won't want to miss what we've got on the radar next.